Hello. In this video, I'm going to explain about the grammar point simple present. So in this video, I'll talk about when to use the simple present and how to form it. So first, let's talk about when to use the simple present. So there's basically three situations. Situation 1, a repeated habitual action. So something that you do again and again and again, in the past, present, and future. For example, I brush my teeth twice a day. Every day. So this is an action that I repeat, that I do many times. Next is a fact, or something that's always true, some kind of generalization. For example, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. Water becomes ice. So this is a fact. This is something that's always true. And some verbs, called stative verbs, almost always use the simple present. And these verbs never use present continuous. For example, my brother owns a car. So own is an example of one of these special verbs that's almost always used in simple present. Okay. So let's explain each topic more carefully. So a repeated habitual action is something that you do in the past and in the present and in the future. And often these habitual repeated actions also come with frequency words, such as always, sometimes, never, every day, once a month, etc. So if you see one of these frequency words, the sentence should be in simple present, probably. So let's look at some examples. I visit my grandparents once a month. So once a month is a frequency phrase. So this shows a repeated action. The train leaves at 9 a.m. every day. So yesterday it left at 9 a.m. Today it leaves at 9 a.m. and tomorrow it will leave at 9 a.m. My mother works in Nagoya every day. These are examples of habitual action, repeated action. I don't cook dinner. My mom cooks dinner. Always. So here's an example of a negative sentence. I don't cook dinner. But it's still sort of that same idea of a repeated action. Next, facts. And these are things that are always true. For example, cats like milk. Birds do not like milk. Nagoya is in Aichi. So again, these are examples of things that are always true, or generalizations. Okay, and then these are examples of stative verbs. So these verbs are almost always in simple present, and never in present continuous. So some common verbs on here: know, think, believe, like, love, want, need, and everything with your senses: see, hear, smell, taste, feel. These are all simple present verbs. And things that I own. So like mottemasu. I have this, I own this. So another example, like with the Pokemon Mewtwo. So Mewtwo o mottemasu. So in English, we shouldn't say I'm having a Mewtwo. So this is an example of the verb have, which is a stative verb, so we should use simple present for this. So I'm having a Mewtwo is strange. Instead, I have a Mewtwo. Motteru. All right. So now let's talk about how to form simple present. And before we do that, I want to talk about some important vocabulary words that I will be using in this part of the presentation. So the first is affirmative, or positive. So this is sort of like a yes sentence. For example, I like sushi. Whereas a negative sentence, I don't like sushi. So affirmative is like a yes. Negative is like a no, I don't like sushi. Another important word, singular. Singular means just one thing, hitotsu, or hitori, just one thing, or one person. Plural means many things, takusan. So this is an important distinction in English. Okay, so affirmative, negative, singular, plural. Now let's talk about the forms. So this is affirmative, simple present. So I, you, we, they. So this is plural. So looking at the top here, plural and I work. No S. But for he, she, it, singular works. So we should add an S or ES or IES in singular. He, she, it. Or my friend, my brother, or the name of a person. Mr. Smith works. Mr. Smith teaches English. Mr. Smith carries a heavy bag, for example. So if the verb ends in SH, CH, SS, O, or X, add an ES. If it ends in a Y, for example, carry, study, cry, change the Y to an I and add ES. IES, carries. So these are affirmative sentences with simple present. Now let's look at negative. Negative is more difficult because we need to add a helping verb, do or does. So he, she, it, singular, does not or doesn't. So doesn't is called a contraction. So it's common to use these contractions as well. So does not plus the verb. So this verb is start. It doesn't start until 10 o'clock, for example. Or with the plural plus I and you, they don't start. So here's some examples. I don't like it. She does not like it. So this is more difficult because we have to add the helping verb do in a negative sentence. So be careful about singular and plural. So with a singular subject, we should add S or ES. With a plural subject, no S. So this sentence, he played basketball. Is this correct? No. He plays basketball. Another example, they goes shopping. Also not correct. So they is plural. They go shopping. Okay, hopefully this video will help you understand and use the simple present. So this is a very common form in English, but it's a little bit tricky because it's a bit different from Japanese. So please watch this video again if you want to learn more. And like always, if you have any questions or comments, please send me an email. Thanks for watching.